Bonnie has a summit coming up, and she's also a content marketer. Bonnie, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and about your summit that's coming up?
Yeah, great. Thanks for having me here, Erica. I do have a summit coming up next week on August 25th. It's for solopreneur women. I've called it Feisty Female Entrepreneurs. And it's the secrets to secure your economic future using content creation. Essentially, all of the speakers, we want to show how creating free content can lead to making revenue.
That is very interesting. And yes, I would like to know how free content leads to revenue. So, how do we sign up for your event?
I could, well, on here, I could put it in the chat, but I'm not sure all your streamers would see that. So I can give you the link.
If you put it in the chat, I will copy it. I will paste it to a notepad and I can put it in every place we stream to.
Well, that's a pretty smart thing to do.
People are going to want to know how they can hang out with you. So, yeah.
And it's a bit.ly link. So,
okay.
There you go. It's in the chat. Yeah, we're going from, I'm in the Pacific time zone, so we're going from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. with 30-minute interviews and 10 minutes in between for breaks.
Sounds nice. How'd you come up with your summit format?
I was actually in a coaching program with Shanda Sumter, and one of her programs is called List Power. So her coaching is around hosting a summit to build your list. So ultimately, that was my initial goal. But as I got into the process, you can see that it's way more beyond just building a list. Because I'm building relationships with thought leaders and influencers, the speakers that I'm getting on. I've been introduced and referred to a lot of speakers, where I didn't have to just kind of cold call people. So I've just created a new community for myself. So it's very exciting. It's very exciting.
Hooray. What platform did you use for your community?
I'm using a new event management system called Event Raptor, and it takes a lot of the administration away from the summit. So speakers can create a speaker profile. There's a speakers directory on there, and people can post their events on there. So speakers can find events to speak at, and event producers can find speakers to invite. So that was a beginning. The rest are mostly through social media, and like I said, from referrals. People that I know that know a lot of marketers and speakers. And once I had a theme around the event, then people understood and who else do you need for what topics. So those were good conversations.
I really like Steve Erickson, the founder, inventor of Event Raptor. I love that speaker directory. The layout looks really nice. I like how some people set theirs up. And even though it's all the same format, everybody's looks just a little different, I guess, because everybody is just a little different.
Yeah,
it's a really nice platform.
It's been really good, and it's still being built out. Like it's based on feedback as people use it. It's just going to get better and better. I think it's still in a beta format or just coming out of beta, and in the new year it will be really skookum. It's a really smart idea.
Yeah, I really like that. He has something on there for people who help set up summits. It's like for the tech people. I thought that was really interesting. I'm like raising my hand. I'm interested.
Oh yeah. Oh cool. Yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, and you can do not just summits, but you'll be able to do webinars and giveaways on there too. So it's just an easier way. Like he describes taking 100 hours of administration time down to 10% of that. And that's about it. That's pretty accurate.
It's good. So was that an easy part for you setting up the platform?
they're still doing a lot of the work. His tech team is still doing a lot of the work. But it's still them doing the work, right? Once the platform is set up, there'll be templates and things just to plug in. I've used another webinar platform that was similar. All the email templates are there. You just, change it to your own content and pick the dates and times you want to go. So I've just been sending all that information to them, and they're setting it up. So it's still 10 things I don't have to do.
That's great.
Yeah,
I love automation. I'm a
absolutely.
big fan of setting something up once and having it go by itself. I love that.
Especially for an event, because there's so many little pieces, and some of them you don't either remember or know about until like the deadline is coming up. It's like, okay, I have to do this, and sometimes there's some tech involved or writing involved. So this just really helps to reduce that time crunch, in essence.
It's good. So I know you took a coaching class about hosting a summit. What made you think that now's a good time to host a virtual summit? What made you say August 25th is my day?
That's part of the coaching process. Well, for a couple of reasons. I mean, if you're in a coaching, they want to hold you accountable. So if you're going to do this, like, pick a date, make it public, and then once it's public, you've got to stick to it, right? It's like hosting a live event. It's showtime on that day, so you've got to ramp everything up to then. But I think also, I've personally done some speaking in the past, on stage, mostly local things here, my networking groups and chambers of commerce and workshops and things like that. And then when COVID came around last year, it just opened up more speaking opportunities online, because I was networking more online, and people were doing these summits and looking for speakers and training. And so I just saw that when I saw that it was around events, I thought it made a lot of sense to me. And in the program, it's kind of funny because I'm really overly organized. And I used to organize events when I worked in the corporate world. So I used to organize big, stage 600,000 people events.
Oh,
So I know, and then the thing I hated most was like the food part. What do we have to feed these people? So on a summit, you don't need to worry about that. but
no
but
DoorDash call-ins.
what's that?
No DoorDash call-ins.
No.
No deliveries.
No. So yeah, so the summit, um, I started out in the coaching program, and it was about hosting a summit. So that made sense. And they suggest hiring a virtual assistant because there's so many things. And I'm tech savvy and marketing savvy. So I knew what to expect. But there's lots of people in the program that have no idea what a landing page is, or what the flow of the funnel and all that fun stuff is. So when Steve Erickson and Event Raptor showed up in my life, I thought that's going to be my VA, essentially, and that's who's done a lot of the work. I've hired someone to help me for the day of, because I don't want to be playing with stuff, letting people in and then, checking the tech and questions and sharing my screen. And, I'm pushing that off to someone else. So that was just, all the different pieces. But this summit, I learned a long time ago about speaking. And it was, I don't know if you're familiar with Dale Carnegie.
Yep.
It's a program about personal development. It was one of the first ones I did. And the one thing that stuck out from that was, whenever you have a chance to speak, do it. Even if that's like introducing someone at a dinner table or at a fancy dinner or whatever that is. And I've always taken that to heart. Even in the corporate world, I was like, introducing people or training or being the host of a meeting. So I've done quite a lot of that, and this summit is about interviewing. I'm interviewing the experts. They're not doing a 30-minute presentation, so that makes it easier for both people. Well, a little more work on my side rather than just handing it over to them to speak, but but I think it attracts speakers easier when they don't have to prepare anything as well. So, you know, if someone asks you, can you do an hour presentation on Friday? Well, if you had to do slides, that would be a big project to do. But if it's an interview, it's like you can just show up with your talking points, and so it's more efficient. I think the interview is more conversational as well, and that just makes you and the speaker kind of more authentic, I guess.
Yep, that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I do like that format. I do like that style. The more time you get to be on stage, the more time you have to get to be an authority or be associated with that person. So, yay for me being associated with Bonnie.
A ditto with Erica.
So, like I said before, I really like your theme. How'd you come up with it? I think it will be very useful for a lot of people.
Well, I guess I I'm passionate about content marketing, but people don't always know what that is unless you're a marketer.
Yep.
So I had to break it up, and I called it content creation instead, because I think people get that. I have to create content for my marketing. If you want visibility, content is a great free strategy and a long-term strategy. And it helps to build your credibility, you know, your expertise, and it can show that you're the authority in your niche. And people just can't seem to connect how writing some free blog posts can lead to money in your wallet. So that's where these speakers are coming in, talking about different ways to do that. And it's not by any means like a workshop or training, although there'll be, you know, tips and tools from everybody. But it was more to get a sense of what's out there, and to create your own content creation strategy, you need to pick something. Whether, you know, if you're good at writing, I would suggest blogging or emails. If you're good on camera and video, there's a ton of things, right? There's streaming like this, TikTok, Instagram. Like, it depends where your audience is as well. And we'll talk about that a lot on the summit. I just want people, because that's the other thing, people don't commit to creating content consistently. Lots of people start a blog, that they're all keen, or they're doing, I'm going to post on social media 3 times a week, or I'm going to do a Facebook Live every week. And they start with really good intentions, and then it just fizzles out. And there's reason, yeah, me too. I've done the same thing. But it's just about, it's about that commitment. And once you do that, I mean, even for me, it was, I had my own calendar planning tool that I would give to clients, but I wasn't using it myself. Like, hello. So once I started using that, I committed to sending an email every Wednesday. And I've done that consistently for, I don't know, 8 months maybe. Whereas before it was a couple of times a month, maybe not. And now that I've done that, everything else has fallen into place. My social media, my blog schedule, all of that has fallen in using that planner. So that, I mean, that's just me. The people on the podcast, the people on the summit are talking about podcasts and video, different social platforms like TikTok and Instagram, LinkedIn. There's
I
a
love
lady.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's where I see your stuff, your streams all the time. That's why I was surprised when you said you're streaming in 10 places. I'm like, where is that? Because I always see you on LinkedIn. But yeah,
I have
so
to rig
that's,
LinkedIn, but I get it there.
yeah. So yeah, the theme was just, you know, about who it's for. That's the idea of the title, is who is it for? So that's going to attract the type of attendees. I like to have fun, and I like high energy women. So feisty was a word that kind of came up, and it went with female, and the rest all kind of fit. And then the tagline about secrets to secure your economic future. With content creation, I didn't want to use financial freedom, or things like that. So economic future was just something that came up, and it just used really title creating tools and trying to get better and better scores in them, which is kind of a personal competitive thing I have.
That's good. Well, I tried blogging. I wanted to do at least once a month, and then try to advertise or promote it like 3 weeks out of that month. I fell off. Uh, so now I'm using the tool SendFox, the free version. It'll take my YouTube videos and it will email it to my list. And I was like, "Phew, yay for automation."
Yeah,
Because I like the idea of sending out email, and everything I hear is that email is king and I need to be using email. And I haven't done it, but with SendFox and it's using the RSS feed from my YouTube channel, there it is. It feels like a relief. I love automation.
yeah, yeah, and that's good. Like I mentioned, I have fallen off the blog wagon several times in the past 10 years. And it's because I didn't have a plan. I didn't know why. It was just, I need to put a blog post out there. There was no, like, why am I doing this? What's the purpose behind all this or this particular blog? So that all comes together. Yeah, and
So
email is powerful because you own that email list. You don't own YouTube or Facebook. If they went, I doubt that YouTube's going down tomorrow or Facebook's going down tomorrow. But if something
they have
happened,
been
I
known
mean,
to keep
Facebook
people
has
off.
crashed. Facebook has crashed and people have lost things, or you do something weird and your account goes down. So it's that lack of control, I think. And actually, statistics show that people buy easier through email than they do through social media. So it's building a relationship in email. An email, you're in somebody's personal inbox, so you're talking to that one person. So you're building a relationship, and that know, like, and trust factor. That's my reason I'm sticking to it.
I like that. So how did you come up with the number of speakers for your event? What was a good number for you?
Um, it was around timing. I didn't want to have too long a day. Um, I juggled for a while between time zones. I've got people from east to west in North America, and I've got a lady in Australia. So she was first and foremost because she's, I don't know, 12 hours or 18 hours, something. Anyway, she's the last person on the list because it's 4 o'clock. It's 8 o'clock in the morning for her. So I couldn't have her any earlier in the day. Right. But it was really about, I knew the time frames were going to be 30-minute interviews. And so I just had to sort out a clock and a schedule, speaker 1 to, I think there's 11 now, and then just slot them in. Kind of mostly based on where they're located. So my Pacific time zone people are later in the day and Eastern earlier in the day. There are summits in this coaching program. There are people doing summits for 3 days, some live, some recorded. And that was another thing I wanted to do. I wanted to do it live. And 3
A
days.
fan of live.
Yeah, and they promote 3 days. I thought, I can't do that. I can't. That's a lot, because that's a lot of energy to be on all day and interviewing people, and then doing that 3 days in a row. I thought, I'll kill myself if I did that. So I went with 1 day. I might try a blend of things in the future. I don't know. I'm going to get through this one first and see what happens. Other people do like a 21 day, and they have 2 recorded speakers a day. So that's another model you can have. And then every day you send out an email of who was the speaker yesterday and who's the speaker today. So that keeps people engaged as well. So there's lots of different ways to do it. But yeah, I wanted to do live. And with 1 day, there was only so many time slots. So, but you reach out to more than 10 people, right? Because I had several people that couldn't speak on that 1 day. So I've got them on my list for my future summits because they were
That's
ideal,
good.
So that's another great bonus of this kind of project is building those relationships for the future too.
So since you got that waiting list of speakers, is your next event in November?
I don't think so. It could be, um, but I think I'm gearing more towards January or February. No later than that, but it'll be, I think, January or February. I have some other
Okay.
things I need to put together based on the results of this summit and what I learned from it and what I learned from the participants. That's going to help me build out what I do next in my marketing programs. So it's a bit of market research, the whole event as well.
Okay, I like that. I do want you to keep the momentum going. I know you're gonna have like a big fan base coming off of this one event. So I like to tell people the next 3 months you take snippets of that one event and you promote the next event. But you do your event, you promote for your next one, even if it's in January or February. So as long as you're keep it going, you'll build your momentum, you'll build your authority, your influence. Yeah. Then
Totally
you can
makes sense. Yeah, absolutely. Totally makes sense.
I was gonna say, and then you can host that 3 day event you're talking about.
I might get there. I might get there. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just managing it. It becomes a formula, right? That's what I'm creating for myself is a formula and a process, so that you can rinse and repeat much more easily, for sure.
Have you been writing down what you like and dislike?
I've been trying to. I have so
That's
many
good.
notes and files open, uh, trying to do exactly like that. Because I've talked to speakers this week. I said, I'm sorry, I'm full. It's like, okay, so where do I keep this information? Right. I mean, I'm using tools like Trello to track speakers um, and then the event process. I have this checklist that I got from Steve and a checklist I got from someone else. And I'm trying to merge the two into my own, um, so I can understand it for my own stuff. And but I don't. Yeah, it's work in progress. I do plan to go through it all after the summit to really sort it out. I mean, I do that for my clients. When I used to do marketing for people, it's like here's a whole checklist and like an operations management tool kind of thing, right?
Yep,
Here's
that's
here's
exactly
how
how
you
it
do
is.
your email in MailChimp. Here's how you put it on WordPress. Here's just a step by step. So I need to do that for myself. So it's in progress, but I wouldn't say it's 100% at the moment, but it's coming along.
Yep. As long as you're putting efforts towards it and you're documenting your progress, so the next time you do it, you can look back and see how you felt about certain actions, if you want to do that again or not. But yeah.
That's right. And it will be different because of partially because of Event Raptor, because right now they're doing a lot of stuff for me, whereas in the future, the platform will be built. So it's just a matter of, plugging in my emails into the system instead of emailing them to Steve's group. So it'll be an
It's really
adjustment
good
to
to
my
have help.
process.
Yes. But it is good to have help. I'm glad you have help. Love Steve. If you get a chance to talk to him again, ask him about his energy process for 3 days event.
Oh,
I had
yeah.
him on the show not too long ago, and I was like, 3 day events make me tired. How are you doing this? Like he hosts them and he attends them. Like just
Yeah,
thinking about it makes me tired.
I know.
But he has a really good process for it. So if you get a chance to talk to him about that, ask him.
I will. That's a great idea.
I told him that in itself needs to be a summit.
Yeah,
But
good plan.
what has been the best part of putting this together? Is it the having help part or just the follow through on your part?
It's engaging with the speakers, um, because I'm such a learner. All the speakers that I've hired, a couple of them I know, so I'm familiar with their topics. But they also referred me, which is a great way rather than cold calling. So that's the first conversation. It's like, oh, how do you know Susan? And then that just opens up Oh, and so I talked to one lady that I didn't know, and actually I saw her. She was a guest on a podcast of one of my speakers. So I'm like, her topic would be perfect. So I reached out to her and I said, I saw you on so and so's podcast, and then we had a one-on-one conversation, and she was interested. It was a fit for her, and I asked her how she knew Anne Marie, her podcast host, and she says, "Oh, I met her through Susan." I'm like, Susan so and so, and she knows. And I said, I have an email expert. She says, "Oh, I know somebody." And it turned out she knew 3 or 4 other speakers that were already signed up. And it was just so serendipitous. It's like, well, obviously you're a fit for this. If all your friends are speaking, then you should be speaking. So, but just their knowledge and their expertise, like I'm looking forward to interviewing them, but mostly from learning from them, to apply it to my own business and to help my clients with the knowledge that I get from that to pass on to them. So I just meeting new people of their caliber it's been fun and enlightening and humbling to meet them.
Yeah. Um, so are you thinking about inviting any sponsors?
Not to this event, but it's certainly a great idea. I haven't seen a lot, to tell the truth, but on summits that I'm exposed to, but I'm starting to see them crop up. And I think that's maybe just an evolution, as the live event world opens up. I've talked to a lot of speakers, who normally speak live on stages, that those types of events will likely include some kind of a online experience. I mean, many have in the past, but so many of us are just living in this space now. And the types of summits that I'm producing are not going away because people just don't want to travel anymore. It's expensive and time consuming. It takes you away from work and your family. So I think this is a good format. Um,
I heard on another podcast that for in-person events, if you agree to walk around with a iPad, it's like a online buddy, they'll give you like 10% off your ticket price. But you have
wow,
but
is
you
that
have
a
to
great?
show
That's a
everybody what
great
you're seeing.
idea. That's innovative. That's an
Yeah.
innovative idea. How cool is that? Uh, I like
I
that.
talked to another event planner and she had robots do the same thing. So I was
Wow.
like, they got robots for that now?
They got
It's like,
robots for everything, right? Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, the world is going to change fast, especially in this space. Like I said, not just summits, but I mean, the training and motivational type messages that people look for. It's all online, and lots of people just weren't going there before. So it's opened up new opportunities for many people.
yeah, yes, it has. Oh, I wanted to ask you, did you have to give your speakers any kind of incentive, like offer them opportunity to share an opt-in page or a lead magnet?
Yes, all of the speakers are offering a free gift, so that gets shared in the chat. We'll be presenting on Zoom, so they can do that in the chat. There is a VIP upgrade to get recordings because it is a live show. So there's a VIP upgrade to get recordings. And I'm going to provide a list of all the freebies because especially if there's people popping in and out during the day, if you can't spend all day, you'll miss some of those freebies if you're not saving the chat. So I'm going to include all of those in the VIP and a 30-minute consult with me to
That's
get
nice.
that content planning moving forward.
So did you give your speakers any coaching on how to best use their lead magnets or how to prepare a lead magnet beforehand?
I did not. I did not have to. They're all pretty savvy with that. Some of them are actually building new ones. So they've got a deadline now to do that. So, but yeah, I didn't have to coach anyone on what exactly that was. I had one speaker that was she had a gift that was just not appropriate for the audience. So I gave her some ideas on how to switch that around, and that was easy for her to do. So
Oh,
otherwise, yeah, pretty standard process, I think, for speakers nowadays,
yeah.
because it's how you get on their list, right?
Yep. I was thinking that is a good way of how to use a lead magnet. Like for a while, I had one, but I've never put it out. I put it out on social one time, but I couldn't figure out how to use it. But being a speaker on someone else's stage and handing it out that way, that's brilliant.
Mhm.
It's definitely a good way to build your own list.
Yeah. Yeah. And another way I've put mine in, I don't know if you're familiar with the link in bio links, like Linktree. Mostly it was created for Instagram, because Instagram, you can only put a link in your bio and not in your posts. So people refer, if they've got an offer or an event, they refer you to the link in their bio. Well, that's only one link. So if I'm having my summit and I just have the link for my summit in my bio, if in 2 months from now that link is still there, well, it's irrelevant. No one's going to find me on my website or anything. So the link in bio tools, and you can just Google that, but I use something called Linktree. So I've got my website and my blog and an email sign up, but I also have my freebie at the top of that link list. So if somebody goes there, they can get a free gift. So that's just another way to put your lead magnet in. And now on that link tree, I've got my event on the top. So, and I use that link tree when I go to networking events as well, like whatever. Do you go to Grand Connection?
Yes.
Yes, I kind of thought, yeah. I think that's probably where we met. So when I put my links in the chat, I put my link tree link in there now. So it's not just my website, it's a whole bunch of other things people can find out about me.
It's really good. Um, Check out mylunchstash.com. It is a place where you can put in your affiliate links. And you can make things called stacks. Like I have one for the no code tools I use for building virtual summits. I have a stack for repurposing content, all the tools I use for that. And you can package them together and you can use that link for whatever. And it's just your affiliate. But I have asked the developer, could I add my own videos of doing a personal walkthrough of how and why I would use these tools? But I thought it was really neat.
Huh,
So
interesting.
it's similar like a link in bio, but just for affiliate links.
Yeah, and some people create just a page on their website and put all their links there as well. Just depend how tech savvy you are, I guess.
Yeah. The big thing that stand out to me about Link Stash, I'm sorry, Launch Stash, is that it has pictures. I'm dyslexic. I like pictures, and the picture stands out to me.
Sure. Yeah, that's what attracts people for sure. That's great. That's interesting.
Yep. So the event's coming up August 25th, and it's about um how to have no I'm drawing a blank, but you're having a lead magnet or content that's free, and you're showing people how to make money from that.
Yeah, not
And
just from a lead magnet, but from blogging or podcasting. I mean, if you think of a podcaster, it's similar to what you're doing. It's you're interviewing people, but you're not promoting anything. You're not promoting yourself. You're promoting as the interviewee, I guess, your guest.
yes,
So, and you have to commit to a podcast. You can't just show up whenever you feel like it, right? You have to have a schedule so people are looking to tune in. But how do you monetize that? If you write a blog post every week and it's helpful, it's educational, maybe it's entertaining, but it's not promotional. So by doing those types of things, how do you make money doing that? And each person will share, different ways, because ultimately the idea of content creation, and I kind of alluded to it before, it's about showcasing your expertise. When people search online, they've got a question or they've got a problem that they're looking for answers for. So if you've got a blog post or a video that explains how to solve that problem, it positions you as the expert in that topic or that niche. So now they're going to pay attention to you. I have an interesting story. I just made it up, but it's about, I use pets all the time because people either have pets or they know people with pets. So say you have a puppy and this puppy is chewing up your new Italian leather shoes. Not good, right? So you start searching online, how do I stop my puppy from chewing my shoes? And you find a dog trainer online that's got a video that describes how to do that. And while you're on that person's site, you see other training videos of how to, because your puppy's not just chewing your shoes, they're doing other things. You can be assured of that, right? So you see
Yes.
the other videos, and then it's like, you know what, I'm a busy woman. I can't figure out, I can't manage this puppy. So I go and I hire this dog trainer to come and help me out. So it's about building a know, like, and trust factor. Videos in particular help you see who that person is and hear them. It's very sensory, and yeah, they position themselves as that expert. And it's okay when you're putting out a lot of content. There's a kind of an 80-20 rule, like 80% of the time it's non-promotional, it's educational or entertaining or enlightening, but it's all value added. And then 20% of the time, people know that you're in business. And if they've been following you, maybe they're ready to buy your stuff now, or they're in a position it's like, hey, you know what, I need that now. So it's okay to promote yourself, just don't do it all the time. And that's where the content creation comes in, like be creating some kind of content, like my weekly emails. I don't sell my stuff in those. I'm trying to tell stories or talk about events coming up, like not just mine, but other people's. And I'm trying to, be value added and be helpful in serving people. But you can bet that they're finding out about my event this week.
Yes.
So I'm in promotion mode.
Woohoo. What have you been doing to promote?
Well, as part of the summit, that's part of the speaker agreement, is that all of the speakers need to promote. They need to send out a solo email. A solo email is an email that is strictly about this summit, as opposed to a newsletter where it might be just a paragraph tucked in. Oh, by the way, here's an event. So it's all about it's about the summit and the benefits and how to register and who's there and all that kind of fun stuff. I sent it to my email list. I'm big on social. So for me, LinkedIn, Facebook, my page plus several groups, and Twitter. Those are my three focuses. So they are mostly image posts with a link in the caption. Yesterday I did a Facebook Live and on my page and a couple of groups, and I'll do a couple more of those before the event. And then things like this. I'm in a couple of networking groups this week, so I'll be promoting in there as well. So anywhere I can get the word out.
That's really good. I like to tell people to set up a LinkedIn event page. I'm not sure if you've done that
I
yet.
did that. Yeah, I did a
Good.
Facebook event and a LinkedIn event. Yeah. Because that's
Good.
good too, because in LinkedIn, particularly because you can invite your speakers if you're connected with them. And then that just shows up with their audience as well.
That's really good.
Mhm.
I'm a really big fan of LinkedIn events. I think they're very useful in promotion. I really like that you can invite like 6,000 people and then ask those people to invite their connections as well.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's more powerful. Yeah, particularly in my case, it's business to business. I find in Facebook, events can get kind of buried with all the local events. There's in not been a lot of online events in Facebook before. It was all local stuff. So I agree. I think LinkedIn is a much more powerful tool for that.
Yeah. So how do you know your speakers are promoting for you? I know they signed an agreement, but what gives you the confidence in saying, I know everybody is promoting themselves on this event?
Yeah, I within Event Raptor, I've given them each an affiliate link. So it's identified, they're using a link that is connected to their promotions. So I have a leader dashboard within Event Raptor that I can see if things are happening. On some of them, I'm on their list, so I'm seeing their stuff, and on social for sure. But the email part, that's something, that's the biggest piece. So in a reminder, or when I sent them their swipe copy and images, I asked them what days they were going to be emailing. So I've gotten that info from most people. And some won't email till next week either, but they were asked to provide dates, and then I'll be able to tell through Event Raptor. And yeah, just reminder next week to promote. They're busy like everyone else, right? It's like, oh yeah, that
That's
event
true.
thing I'm doing on Wednesday. It's like, I better promote it. So I just give them a little nudge, right?
How do you feel about charging your speakers to speak?
Uh, I, 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 I would never have thought of it. I've heard of it. I guess I've actually been on a summit where I did pay, and that was based on promotion. You had to get a certain amount of registrations. I think it's a smart idea. And then because most times people are looking for speakers with a specific size list. And that's just so that everyone kind of has equal promotional opportunities or exposure opportunities. With the paying to speak model, it's more about getting registrations however you can get them. It doesn't have to come from your list. If you've got 20,000 people on Instagram and they're engaged and you can get them to come, then that's okay. So yeah, I guess it's a model that you need to explain it and explain what the benefits are. Um, but at this stage, it's not something that I would do.
Okay. I'll give you a secret. It is not the list size, it's the open rates. So you can have like 2,000 people on your Instagram, but if people aren't opening your emails, it doesn't count.
Yeah, that's right. To me, it's all about the list.
Yeah. But I would love for all of my speakers to have a 30% open rate. And I say 30% because I'm getting 34. And it's like, that's kind of rare, but I think it's doable. But one of the other things I've heard is to get speakers to give you you offer them a fee or you charge them a fee. And if they show up and they do their promotions like they said they would do, then they would get that money back. But it's to ensure that they would do as they say.
Right. That's part of the same model that I had heard. Similar. Yeah.
So I was in a Facebook group and someone was complaining about he was a speaker and he was complaining that every platform he wanted to speak on, people wanted to ask him for money. And he says, is this normal? And so many people said, yes, this is normal. And they were saying the prices they would pay for it. And it's like 300, 400, 500. And I was like, oh my God, I need to make a summit just for you to have a platform to speak on. And it's like, yes.
Yeah. Well, it's different. Yeah.
So people are willing to pay for that. That is one stream of income. I like to tell the people I work with, you most likely aren't going to make your money from your tickets. You're going to make your money from your upsells. And if you have a good upsell, that's where you'll get your income from. I like to tell them to have affiliate links for like 50%. Do you have a recommendation on that?
That's typical, 50%. I guess I've seen 40 to 70. And I think it may depend on the size of the offer as well. If it's a
Yeah.
high ticket, it'd be different.
I have heard if your ticket sales are like 1,000, then 20% would be all right.
Mm.
Like, but
I'm not sure on my numbers in those situations, so I'm still kind of learning that whole process.
I'm finding out new things every Thursday when I do the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it like you said, it is really nice to talk with people and learn what they know. So yeah, like what you said about the content creation, I've always heard about the profit pyramid and all those things you said. They were in my free column, and I had no idea how to monetize them. I've heard of ads for YouTube and all of that, but other than that, I couldn't decide between having a free ebook or an ebook that is a Kindle that's on Kindle. So yeah.
There's so many little things you can do, and I don't think any one of them is there's no exact step-by-step formula. It's going to be something that's comfortable for you. And you can maybe it is a $47 ebook that you start with, but you don't have to think of a $5,000 coaching plan at this stage. Let's sell this $47 book first and start having and lead that to a conversation with a prospect. I think the things that I learn, from certain workshops and webinars, they're not achievable in the short term. So people are looking for quick fixes. Well, there is no quick fix. You've got to put in the work and the steps to, work in the step that you're in, and then get on and do the next one. Have that goal of $5,000, package, but you need to start at the bottom of the ladder.
Yeah. Like, and stay focused on that till you're ready to
Because
move
otherwise you're
forward.
going to get stuck. All you're going to think about is that $5,000 package. What would I do? What would I do? What would I do? And it's like, you know what? You don't know what you're going to do because you don't know what people want yet. So you've got to start figuring out that. And those products, who buys those products, that's the first filter of what to do next.
Yeah. How do you find your target audience? I mostly just ask my phone where they are. Yeah. I have an Android phone, so I'm talking to Google. I'm like, hey, Google, where do coaches hang out and on social? So it told me Facebook and LinkedIn. I was like, so hey, Google, where do which Facebook groups do coaches hang out in? And it gave me like a list of 10. So I joined all of those that list, and I did the same thing with LinkedIn. And so I'm like, hey, Google, how do I get to be a part of this group or whatever? And it says sign up, be engaging, and all of that stuff. But what I didn't know, because I didn't know that I needed to ask my phone this, but a guest on the show, Anthony Chesmuth, he told me that I needed to contact the group owner and ask, can I do a presentation in a group? And I was like, wow, because I didn't know I needed to ask my phone that. And that was brilliant for me.
Yeah, that's good. That's cool.
So your event is going to be next Wednesday, right?
My event is next Wednesday. Yes, August 25th from 8 to 4 Pacific time. And yeah, 30-minute live interviews, 10-minute breaks in between. And there is a VIP package. You could register for free. And on the thank you page, there's an upgrade for a VIP package to get a recording and a 30-minute consultation with me to help you figure out how you can implement what you've learned on that day.
I like that implementation, execution, getting things done. That's like that's rare that you get offered that from a summit. So that's really good. I
Yeah,
appreciate
I
that
think
already.
they're so awesome. There's so much information that will come out of these ladies. It's I think it would be overwhelming for some people. And it depends on where they are in their content journey, right? If they're just starting out, it's like, what do I pick? What do I talk about? What do I write about? Or if you've been doing something, how do you make that better? Or if you're doing something well already, how do I add to that? Or repurpose, lots of people don't repurpose very well, but that's so efficient, and still gets you more visibility. So yeah, that's what the consult will be all about.
It's really good. Like to have this opportunity to hang out with you for like 8 hours, learn from the people that you think highly enough of to have a part of your event, and then have an opportunity to train with you. It's brilliant. I'm a big fan of repurposing summit content, long form content. Are you planning on repurposing your content?
I will. I will use those videos, likely package them as a product. Probably depending on the results and the actual content, I may be able to break them up into a couple of things, because there's 3 or 4 ladies talking about social media platforms. So that could be a product by itself.
Yeah.
Another lady is talking about niche marketing. So how to narrow down your niche. Another one is talking about setting goals. Someone else is, well, even those two could be part of a different package, because they're not specifically about how to create content, but who you're talking to, and the goal setting is always important. I know I struggle with goal setting, but there's someone talking about speaking. Like, people don't necessarily think about speaking as content marketing, but it can totally be. I mean, you're on stage, you're not up there promoting yourself, you're up there to serve the audience with, some kind of value added content. Podcasting, we talked about podcasting for monetization. There's a lady who is a former TV broadcaster, and she's now a video strategist, right? She coaches people on how to do video scripting. There's a lady that is, this is the one I was, a creativity coach. And this is one that I had seen on a podcast, and the conversation was about, most people don't think they're creative, but really everybody has some kind of creativity in them. And I thought, that's me, right? Like, I can draw stick people. I'm not crafty. I don't do any of that artsy kind of stuff, but I can make nice flower arrangements. I'm a good writer. I do lots of different things that are creative, but I never thought of it before, right? And she's got some really great tools to help bring out creative ideas. Who else is on there? Cheryl, Leanne, talking about email. We've talked a little bit about email today. People forget about email. They think it should be all about social media and video. Email is that connection to someone's private inbox, which is a place you should respect, because that's where you can build a valuable relationship. And yeah, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, all
Yeah.
fun stuff. I love it all.
Yeah, I can see all of that being courses on their own, ebooks. Yeah.
I could, yeah. If I'm pretty sure I'm leading towards a group training or group mentoring program, I could pull in any of those videos for a specific topic, or as a bonus in certain programs or packages. So
I
yeah,
like that.
I see lots of ways to repurpose these for sure.
Very
Audio,
nice.
audio downloads.
Yeah. Snippets for podcasts, or just
Mhm.
snippets for YouTube, or your own platform.
Yeah, yeah, all great stuff.
Oh, really nice. So we went from planning to repurposing in like almost an hour. That's really
Yeah,
good.
lots of great ideas.
Yeah. So one more quick question. How long did it take you to plan your event?
Oh, I guess I've been working on it for, I'm just looking at my calendar. I've been working on it August. almost 3 months. I think the beginning of June, I picked my date. And then the first 3 or 4 weeks was really about speaker research. I was looking on Amazon. That's a good tool to look at people with your specific topic, find people that have books, and then read the reviews.
Oh,
And
fancy.
see what that's like. And so some speakers, and I was really looking for female speakers just because of the title. And YouTube is also another place. Same, find the topic, look at the comments. And this is good for your marketing copy too, because the reviews, like on Amazon, 5-star reviews are all going to be like good stuff about the book. The 1 and 2-star reviews are going to be what's missing or what they didn't like about it. And those are the pain points that you could be writing about. And the same thing in YouTube. If you look at the comments, yeah, this is great, Erica, or, oh, why wouldn't you do this instead? Or, so then that's something, that's a topic you can look at. So I use those. And then, like I say, I had some referrals. I know people in the National Speakers Association and lots up here in Canada that are speakers. So that was the biggest point, was just to get my first 3 or 4 speakers, and then the rest started. Okay, I can start planning now, all the other stuff that had. And then Steve Erickson popped up in my life with Event Raptor. So it's like, okay, you know what? I'm buying in as a founding member. So
That's good. So everything you just said about finding your speakers, that could be a checklist. And I
yeah.
love that. Like, and we've been talking about Steve Erickson, so you can take snippets of this interview and send it to him as testimonial.
Yeah, there you go. That's a great idea. Save me creating a new one.
We're like, all right, Bonnie, I should let you go. Tell us one more time, where can we find your event? I have already posted it on all of my Facebook and YouTube. I got a few more places to paste that link, but tell us one more time, where can we see you, hang out with you, and um, about your event? Wednesday, August 25th.
Wednesday, August 25th from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Pacific time. It's called Feisty Female Entrepreneurs. It's actually on a Event Raptor link, but I've put a bit.ly link in the chat that you could share. And they can find me on my Facebook page, Bonnie Chomica, content marketing mentor. And the links are there. And on LinkedIn, Bonnie Chomica, got an event there.
All right, Bonnie. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing all of this great, helpful, useful information. I hope you will go back through this recording and pull out some checklists that you've told us about, because I do think they could be great lead magnets for you.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, it's been awesome talking with you, Erica. It's been lots of fun. I learned some things, and hopefully you did too.
I did. That's how I know that there's checklists in this.
Yeah, I suppose. It's a
All
great
right.
idea.
Well, thank you for your time, Bonnie.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Erica.
All right.